everyone, good day. Today, I am going to discuss with you the modern world system. So what is modern world system? The modern world system is a framework developed by the sociologist Immanuel Wallerstein to describe the economic and political relationship between countries in the modern era. The system is characterized by a global division of labor and resources that is structured by economic and political hierarchies between the regions. Sa framework na gina-conceptualize ni Mr. Wallerstein, meron siyang tinatawag na world system approach where doon nakasaad ang perspective niya that global economy is a single unit rather than a collection of individual nations. By using this kind of approach, we can come up with a conclusion that the world economy is structured by a hierarchy of economic and political relationship between core, semi-peripheral, and peripheral regions, which are the parts that make up the tripartite modern world system. Okay, I'm going to show you a map of different countries that are being categorized according to their classification from the tripartite modern world system. See those colors in the maps? That is how this theory classifies these countries based on their economic value. Each color has its own classification, where blue is for the core regions, violet for the semi-peripheral regions, red for the peripheral regions, and gray for the external areas. Let's say North America. The color of this country is blue, so it means North America are known as a core country. To understand more about this tree, let us now move on to the next slide. Okay, let's continue. Talking about tripartite world system, it is just a variation of Immanuel Wallerstein's theory, which is the world system theory, which divides the world into three main regions. First, the capitalist world economy. Second, the socialist world economy, and last, the underdeveloped world economy. In other words, these are the core, periphery, and semi-periphery. This model emphasized the interconnectedness of the global economy and the ways in which economic and political systems shape the distribution of wealth and power between regions. Now, let's talk about the core. Core are the countries that are powerful, wealthy, and highly dependent of outside control. These are the most developed and advanced economies, typically located in Europe, North America, and some parts of Asia. They are characterized by high levels of industrialization, advanced technology, and a dominant position in the global economy. Core regions are often the main drivers of economic growth and technological innovation, and they have significant political and economic power over other regions. Next is the periphery. Contrary to the core countries, peripheral countries are the least developed and are considered the poorest countries. They lack central governments and easily controlled by other states, typically located in Africa, Latin America, and some parts of Asia. Peripheral regions are often relying on coercive labor and are heavily exploited. Last one is the semi-periphery. These are the countries that lies in the two extreme. They are either exploiting or exploited. Living in the two extreme means that they are located between the core and the periphery regions, and are generally less developed than the core, but more developed than the periphery. These regions may have some advanced industries and technology, but they also have a lower levels of development and less political and economic power than the core. Now let's proceed to the modern world system theory model of Immanuel Wallerstein. So before we proceed to Wallerstein's world system theory model, gusto ko muna kayong bigyan ng kaunting kaalaman ng what is external areas. So, nabigay ako kanina ng map, right? And aside from violet and color blue na legends doon, which are the classifications of the main regions, meron din doon naka-color na A. At ang classification nun is the other areas na hindi included sa 3 main regions or the external areas. Now, what is external areas? External areas are countries that contain their own economic system. So, external areas at ang periphery ay mayroon silang similarities when it comes to their definition. And that is, parehas silang underdeveloped countries. So, ang kaibahan ng nila ay mayroong factors sa external areas na hindi mapapakinabangan ng core at ng semi-periphery. At isa sa mga qualifications para mapasok ka sa mga main regions ng World System Theory Model ay kailangan mapapakinabangan ng core at semi-periphery ang functions mo as a regions doon sa World System Theory or the economic network or the global economic network. So now let us now proceed to Wallerstein's World System Theory Model. So here in this picture is the theory model of Emanuel Wallerstein at the world system. So again, according to him, economic is divided into 3. And as I mentioned a while ago, it is the core, the semi-periphery, and the periphery. Take a look at the arrow and you will understand its meaning. But let me elaborate this one. Core countries like US, Japan, Germany, are dominant capitalist countries, characterized by high levels of industrialization and urbanization. So as you can see on the description, the core countries have high profit consumption good. Sabi nga natin kanina na ang periphery countries nakadepende kay core. So core countries are capital intensive and they have high wages and high technology production patterns and lower amounts of labor exploitation or coercion. Next one, we have the semi-periphery. So countries like South Korea, Taiwan, Mexico, Brazil, India, Nigeria, South Africa are less developed than the core countries but are more developed than the peripheral countries. Nakigets niyo ba? So they are the buffer between core and peripheral countries. And for the peripheral countries, which includes some African countries and low-income countries in South America, are dependent on core countries for capital and they are less industrialized and urbanized. So that is the explanation of the World System Theory Model. Do you have any questions? Okay, so that will be my report about the modern world system. So let us now proceed to the next reporter. Thank you for listening.
Hello, good day everyone. I am Christine May Alfaro and I am the reporter for the economic globalization. So before we start, let us define first some of the words that we might encounter or you might encounter while watching this video. So we have here first the trade surplus. So this means that there are more exports than import. So ano nga ba ang export at import? So kung sasabihin natin ay export, ito ay mga produkto na pinapalabas natin patungo sa isang bansa. At kung import naman, ito ay mga produkto na pinapasok natin galing sa ibang bansa. Next, we have trade deficit. So, this is the opposite of the trade surplus, meaning there are more imports than export. So, mas maraming pinapasok ang isang bansa kesa sa pinapalabas nilang produkto. Next is the tariff. Means that this is the tax on imports. So, ito yung mga taxes na pinapataw ng gobyerno sa mga goods and services na pumapasok sa isang bansa. Halimbawa na lang ito ay kunwari yung magulang mo ay isang OFW at siya ay nagpadala ng package and that package ay may bayad yun na buwis sa gobyerno. Next is the absolute advantage. Means that fewer sources to produce greater quantity of goods. Just like for example, America. So, madami silang machines at raw materials para makagawa ng certain product. Hindi na nila kailangan mag-import pa galing sa isang bansa kasi meron na sila nun. Next is the production. So, this is a process which inputs are combined and transformed into output. So, I don't need to explain it because I know na alam naman natin kung ano yung production. Next is the free trade. It is the trading of goods and services between two or more countries without tariffs or taxes. So, di ba? Kanina sabi ko, when we say tariff, it is the tax on imports. So, dito sa free trade, wala mga internal barriers. Wala mga batas o legal basis. Hindi strict ang pagpasok ng isang produkto sa isang bansa. At wala itong babayaran. Kung meron man, maliit lamang na halaga. Next is the economy. From the Greek word economos, meaning one who manages a household. Next is a trade bloc. Agreement made between government to reduce or eliminate trade barriers. Next is the outsourcing. It is the manufacturing jobs transfer from developing nation, reduce the cost of products. So now, what is economic globalization? So, economic globalization refers to the increasing interdependence of world economies as a result of the growing scale of cross-border trade of commodities and services, flow of international capital, and wide and rapid spread of technologies. So, ibig sabihin, when we say interdependence, we are dependent to others. Like, hindi tayo mag-i-exist bilang isang country kung wala yung ibang country. And that's the economic globalization. And there are two types of economies: the protectionism and trade liberalization. When we say protectionism, it is defined as one economy from foreign competition by creating trade barriers. And when we say trade liberalization, it is the reducing trade barriers to make international trade easier between countries. That would be all, and thank you for listening.
Good day, I am Emmanuel Azate, and today I will be tackling about the actors that facilitate economic globalization, globalization of trade and industry in Mindanao, and value chain of Mindanao products. Now, what do you mean when we say actors that affect economic globalization? These are actors which drives forward the economy into a globalized and developed one. Who are these actors that facilitate economic globalization? First up, International Monetary Fund. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, is an organization of 190 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. Another actor that facilitate economic globalization is the global corporation. Who are these global corporations? A global corporation, also known as a global company, is coined from the base term global, which means all around the world. It makes sense to assume that a global company is a company that does business all around the world. Examples are which BPO companies, or business process outsourcing, or shall we say the call center companies. Next is the Nestle. As we all know, Nestle brand is an international brand or an international company that provides products that we can use in our daily lives. Next one is SM Corporation. Now we will dig deeper into the globalization of trade and industry here in Mindanao. Mindanao is rich with agricultural products which is essential in trading and could give profit to our country, which could help develop our economy. Mindanao has the advantage in trading because of its geographical location, as we can see in the map. Before the colonial period, Moro traders in Mindanao, particularly from Sulu and the Indo-Malay Peninsula and China, has been trading already. In fact, Sulu is best known for its name Pearl Market. What do we mean when we say Moro? Moro, it was simply the Spanish name for anyone Moro who was Muslim. In colonial Philippines, the Spanish rulers used the word Moro to refer to all inhabitants of Mindanao, Sulu and Palawan, believing that they all belonged to the Islamic faith. Now, during the colonial period, when the Spaniards colonists arrived, the trading in Sulu was considered piracy and a threat. During the American colonial period, tariffs, taxes, customs duties was introduced, which gave a hard time for Moro to trade. Now we will discuss about the value chain of Mindanao products. As we have discussed earlier, Mindanao is rich in agricultural products, which is essential for trading. However, there are barriers in which preventing the economy in Mindanao to bloom in trading and economic growth. One barrier is the limited connectivity. Many roads are in bad condition or congested, with the result that agricultural produce is often rejected, especially perishable commodities like bananas and the other fruits and vegetables, because traders requires high quality products and fresh products. Another factor is the lack of port for importation. There are some 690 ports, yet the top 4 handle only 17% of domestic cargo and 12% of foreign. Many ports are owned by private companies and are close to smaller farmers. Because of these factors, our farmers has to have a higher input costs and lower produce prices. Agribusinesses should give higher aggregate cost for produce, and the consumers suffer from the higher prices of the products. And because of these barriers, we have this what we call logistic cost. Logistic costs include expenses related to resource acquisition, product distribution, and other expenses that make up a company chain of production, sales, and delivery. If only we have lower logistic costs here in Mindanao, it could help Mindanaoans to become global supplier of basic and value-added produce to be unleashed. It is not yet too late. Soon enough, Mindanao will lead the country to a globally developed one and will become a leading producer of imported goods. Rise up, Mindanao!
Good day everyone. By the way, my name is Jessa Emanghad and I'm tasked to report to you about the letter D of our objectives, which is to articulate the stance on global economic integrations. And here are the outline of my reports. We will be encountering the introduction, the benefits of global economic integration and criticism of global economic integration. And number 4 is the conclusion. In introduction, we will be encountering the definition of global economic integration and the forms of global economic integration. Global economic integration refers to the process of increasing interdependence and interconnectedness of the economies of different countries through the flow of goods, services, capital, and people across borders. It can take various forms such as free trade agreements, foreign direct investment, and cross-border movements of labor. Proponents of global economic integration argue that it can lead to increased economic growth, job creation, and poverty reduction. By opening up markets, countries can specialize in producing goods and services in which they have a comparative advantage, leading to efficiency gains and lower prices for consumers. Foreign direct investments can bring in new technology and capital, boosting productivity and job creation. Moreover, increased competition can incentivize firms to innovate and improve quality. On the other hand, critics of global economic integration argue that it can lead to job loss, environmental degradation, and social inequality. They argue that free trade agreements can lead to outsourcing of jobs to countries with lower labor costs, leading to job losses in higher wage countries. Moreover, increased competition can lead to a race to the bottom in labor and environmental standards, leading to negative social and environmental impacts. Furthermore, the benefits of global economic integration may not be distributed equally, leading to widening income and wealth inequality. Overall, while global economic integration can bring benefits in terms of economic growth and efficiency gains, it is essential to ensure that it is designed and implemented in a way that promotes sustainable and equitable outcomes for all.